my childhood was amazing. I thought we were the all-American suburban family. We took vacations every year, had a pool, had a dog. My dad was a police officer, and my mom was an accountant. That all changed when my dad moved out when I was 7. I found out that my dad had been cheating for some time, all different women. I remember a little about that time. I know I was sad. My mom, she made us go to a psychologist. She really tried to do all the right things. It was about after a year or so when they decided to reconcile. Things seemed to go well. But after some time, my dad started to cheat once again. My parents bought this huge house together as a band-aid. In less than a year, they separated and divorced. At that point, I went a lot crazy. I was a teenager at this point, so I was out 4 to 5 nights a week, drinking heavily, sleeping around. I met my husband after a 3-year binge. I was done. I was 21 and he was 26. We met at a bar. He was just wrapping up his time in the military and on home leave. It was never love at first sight for me, but I was in love with the idea of marriage, not in love with him. We dated off and on for about 7 months and then 2 years until we got married. We had children right away. 2 girls, 3 years apart. Our first one was very ill for some time, which took a huge toll on our new marriage. We got so busy with life, we began living like roommates for many, many years. My husband was verbally abusive, belittling me. He moved his mother in our home without even asking. I would just sit with my little hands in my lap and agree with everything he said and did. The biggest difference is I've now found my voice. I do not back down from him any longer. Just before I started a new job, I had ended a 6-month long-distance affair. We lived about 3 hours between each other and we met up a handful of times. It was at this new job that I met my affair partner. We had both just started there about 3 weeks prior. When we met, we both felt instant attraction to one another. And as we got to know each other, we realized that we only lived about 10 minutes apart. He, on several occasions, asked me to come over to his house. I felt hesitant about what this could lead to, and getting involved with a coworker is not always the best idea. But we had this strange attraction and it was hard to resist. I was nervous just about being with someone new, not necessarily about an affair. After some time, I finally made the decision to go over to his house. And when I went over, we had sex that first night. It was amazing. I felt no guilt. I was done and my affair was fun. We would laugh. We felt like teenagers. Sex was nothing like I had ever had before. Sometimes we would laugh when we were making love. Then it can be intense, and we felt as if we were one. After only a few weeks, I knew I was in love with this man. My husband had suspected. I made no effort to hide it. I honestly thought he couldn't care less. The affair and I would play on Facebook, again, not thinking my husband would even notice. They decided to ban cell phones at work, and that was the biggest way for my affair partner and I to communicate at work, since he and I were in different departments. So, we started using Post-its. Cliché, I know. I kept every single one. Again, I made no attempt to hide them, and he found them in my purse. Yes, here's the hard part. I was ready to leave my husband. I invited my husband out for drinks to let all of my feelings out, and I did. Every single thing I'd been feeling over the past 23 years got put on the table. I thought I would for sure cry during this, but not one tear. He was blown away. No clue how I was feeling. He was the one in tears. He was begging me for forgiveness. We were in a public place, and he was getting so emotional that we had to leave. My husband made a 200-degree turnaround. He put all he had into our marriage, but I had fallen for my affair partner way too deeply. He was just supposed to be fun. But he was never married with no kids, so he is more than ready to settle down. We are both in our late 40s. I am an emotional person, and this affair carries deep emotions. He would do anything to keep me in his life, so here we are, over 3 years. I'm still with my husband. Both the affair partner and I have tried to end things many times, but we just can't stay away from each other. I feel we are very much soulmates. I have 2 teenagers, and I have worked like hell for the house my husband and I share. I cannot walk away from the girls and my home. My husband has no idea we are even still in touch. My affair partner, Matt, is ready for me to leave my husband. He has been for years, but I'm not. I know I am going to lose Matt soon if I don't shit or get off the pot. He treats me like a princess, and he has been more than patient. My husband has constantly tested me during our entire marriage. He knows not to say a single word to me about my infidelity. But if he knew we were still in contact, he would speak up. So to wrap it all up, I've lost almost all of my friends. They don't understand, and they think less of me. I was fired from my job I shared with my affair partner. Everyone in the office unfortunately knew about our affair. The owner dug into the emails and found one personal email I had sent over 2 years ago. I was let go because of my relationship with him. I was disposable. He was not. He still works there to this day. I've never been fired from anything. I was beyond devastated. It's just a difficult subject. I'm hoping the affair partner and I will marry one day. We talk about our wedding all the time, so one day.